London's gang violence. Two heartbreaking cases shake the city. London, a city known for its vibrant culture and rich history, is grappling with a sobering reality: the scourge of gang violence. Recent cases have highlighted the tragic consequences of youth involvement in gangs, shedding light on the devastating impact on families and communities. In one case, 5 men were sentenced to life in prison for the murder of Sharmaik Mohammed, a young man gunned down in a tit-for-tat revenge killing in North London. The court heard how Mohammed, associated with a local gang, was the intended target of a carefully planned shooting. The perpetrators, driven by a desire for retaliation, callously ended his life, leaving behind a grieving family and shattered dreams. 2. Similarly, the brutal murder of Santino Dimitar, hacked to death with machetes in East London, shocked the nation. 2 teenagers, aged just 14 and 16 at the time of the attack, were convicted of his murder. Despite their young age, they were no strangers to violence, having been involved in previous criminal activities. Dimitar's family, devastated by the senseless loss of their loved one, described him as a young man with aspirations and potential, snuffed out by the cruelty of gang warfare. These cases underscore the urgent need for action to address the root causes of gang violence and provide support for at-risk youth. It is imperative that communities come together to offer alternatives to the allure of gangs, providing opportunities for education, employment, and mentorship. Law enforcement agencies must also remain vigilant in their efforts to dismantle criminal networks and hold perpetrators accountable for their actions. As London mourns the lives lost to senseless violence, there is a collective call for change. We must strive to create a city where every young person feels valued and empowered, where the cycle of violence is broken, and where families no longer fear for the safety of their loved ones.
Inside London's gang warfare, a glimpse into Newham's violence epidemic. The streets of London, particularly in the borough of Newham, bear witness to a grim reality: a surge in gang violence that has left communities reeling and families torn apart. Recent incidents have shed light on the ruthless world of gangs, where young lives are lost and fear permeates everyday life. Rashid, a 19-year-old former gang affiliate, knows all too well the dangers lurking in his neighborhood. 2 of his friends have already fallen victim to the streets, leaving him haunted by the specter of violence. Even a simple trip to the corner shop fills him with dread, as he navigates the streets with constant vigilance, fearing the looming threat of a deadly encounter. Recent tragedies have only deepened the sense of unease in Newham. The shocking murders of Abubakar Jah, known as Junior, and 14-year-old Fairs Madhav have sent shockwaves through the community, reigniting fears of escalating gang warfare. Reports of bloodshed are swiftly circulated through the gangland grapevine, signaling a potentially volatile situation on the horizon. Despite efforts to curb violence, gangs continue to proliferate, their influence extending deep into the fabric of society. The government's serious violence strategy, launched with much fanfare 3 years ago, has failed to stem the tide of bloodshed. Critics argue that the approach has been misguided, focusing too heavily on law enforcement rather than addressing the root causes of violence, such as poverty and inequality. In the heart of Newham, amidst the turmoil, stands the Compound, a half-renovated gym that serves as a sanctuary for at-risk youth. Founded by Raheel Butt, a former gang offender turned mentor, the Compound offers a rare haven of safety in a neighborhood plagued by violence. But despite its vital role in the community, but struggles to secure funding, leaving many vulnerable youths without access to much-needed support. Elsewhere in Newham, the specter of gang violence looms large in public spaces like Stratford Park. Despite efforts by law enforcement to crack down on criminal activity, drug gangs continue to operate with impunity, perpetuating a cycle of violence and despair. The challenges facing police officers are immense, with dwindling resources and a growing sense of hostility from the communities they serve. As Newham grapples with its ongoing crisis, there are no easy solutions. Tensions simmer beneath the surface, fueled by a deadly combination of poverty, lack of opportunity, and entrenched gang culture. But amidst the darkness, there are glimmers of hope, individuals like Raheel but who refuse to give up on their community, and officers like Tony Douglas who tirelessly work to keep the streets safe. But until meaningful action is taken to address the underlying issues driving gang violence, the cycle of bloodshed is likely to continue unabated. For the residents of Newham, the future remains uncertain, overshadowed by the specter of violence that looms large over their everyday lives.